What a weekend. I don't know if I cursed
say that twice.
I don't know if I cursed us with my comments about how Manchester United was going to get that work. I just want you guys to know, football gods, that I didn't need nothing by it. I didn't need
it. Yeah,
I don't personally believe in curses. I don't believe in this 7-season curse for Jurgen Klopp.
Absolutely,
but whatever it is, they gotta straighten that shit out real quick. Because I gotta go to the office on Tuesday, and there's a couple of new Man United boys in my team.
Yeah.
I don't want to be going in there with my head held down low. I've had enough of that. So
where have they been the last 4.5 years?
They only just got to my team a couple of weeks ago, and they're two brothers. They're Greek, and they're football, like they're really nice guys. But I only found out they were Man United supporters like last week, just before the game. And
what?
Yeah, early birds, baby. I was telling them, don't show up to work on Monday. I was saying all the good shit. I was telling them, don't show up to work.
Resilient, boys? You want to hear resilience? I've just been on a school camp for 3 days. I'm not only a Liverpool fan, I'm also a West Tigers fan. Now, for anyone who doesn't know who that is, over here in the NRL in Australia, they're running last. It's been a horrific year. So, if you want to understand resilience, just wear a West Tigers jersey around the camp for 3 days. It's a test of your mental strength and endurance.
Absolutely. Sure. It was a dark day on Monday or Tuesday, whatever day it was. But
and all of you guys left me alone.
How did you leave you alone?
No one came on. No one came on. I was all there, me and Rob. Rob ditched me.
What?
They ended up doing a watch along. I saw the comments. I haven't watched it yet, but I saw them. But it was like 3 a.m. my time. Was it 5 your time, Chappie?
Yo.
It was 5 a.m. Rob and I persevered.
Look, gents, I'm impressed. I'm impressed. But we'll just quickly run down the scores and then we'll discuss. We'll start off with the Saturday's games. It was Southampton 2, Leicester 1, Brentford 2, Fulham 3. Everton and Nottingham Forest drew 1-1. Crystal Palace 3, Aston Villa 1. Spurs 1, Wolves 0. Newcastle 3, Man City 3. Brighton 2, West Ham 0. Leeds 3, Chelsea 0. Arsenal 3, Bournemouth 0. Manchester United 1, Manchester United 2, Liverpool 1.
Why didn't you stuff that up? I have no words.
So
honestly, I have no words.
Out of all those ones, let's put, because we could do an entire segment on Liverpool, Man United. Let's put up the other ones that were more interesting. Leeds and Chelsea.
Yeah, I think. Would you guys say no? That was that a fluke or it was actually just some good game management for Leeds from Leeds?
Honestly, I think Leeds played extremely well. It was an amazing game to watch. They controlled the pace of the game. They were good value, very good value.
Okay.
I agree with Chappie. I think they reinforced very smartly. And if they spent a couple of mil on those guys, they're going to sell them for triple the value in a few years when they perform. You boys have been telling me about Jesse March, and I've been doubting you for a while. He's starting to prove that maybe he just needed time in Leipzig. I don't know. Ted Lasso did something to me. I couldn't buy Americans in football.
Oh God.
But I think Jesse March, from a football mind perspective, probably deserves a bit more of my respect. However, I feel like Chelsea shouldn't let Kepa leave because somebody needs to give old mate comp. Like they need to put some pressure on the current goalkeeper because he's making avoidable errors.
Well,
yeah, I saw that goal that
The first one.
yeah, the missed goal. Come on, I wouldn't put too much. I mean, Allison has done that before. You know what I mean? Would you say
no,
that
but
that's
What do you think, Chappie?
no, keep going. Finish your thought process.
yeah? Would you say that's like something that Mendy always does, or it was just a lapse in concentration for that one moment?
What I was actually going to say before I cut you off was that towards the tail end of last season, he was
Okay.
making stupid mistakes as well.
That's what I was going to
Wow.
say. Yeah.
It's not a one-off.
Yeah.
Got
It's
it.
not something that he does all the time, obviously, because he's not a bad
Got
keeper.
it.
But tail end of last season, he was making mistakes, and I thought he was just gassed. Like he had played AFCON, he had played a lot of football, you know.
Got
But
it.
then he's
Got
had
it.
a summer break. He's come back. That was a pretty bad mistake to make.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Inexcusable.
Yeah. Yeah. Probably it's part of the reason why they lost, right? Because it gave Leeds more amp. You know what I mean?
Oh, for
To
sure.
go forward. Yeah.
100%. I completely agree with you there. No?
Now
That's
I owe
interesting.
Chappie a second apology
Oh my gosh!
because
They
right
We're
over
apologize.
going to talk about Koulibaly first?
yeah, that's the one. That's the second apology. I still don't think I still don't think he's overrated, but I do feel like the errors he made in that game, along with his goalkeeper, them two, Senegal needs to be worried at the World Cup if their heads aren't in the right place because those two errors or those two performances contributed to the level of a beating they got. They could have lost 1-0 based off of what Leeds is doing, but they created the atmosphere that led to a 3-0 defeat in terms of their performance in the back. Unnecessary. He didn't have to put his hands on the boys. He didn't have to do none of that. He could have, depending on how he was marshalling his back line, could have done things a little bit differently. I don't know.
Do you think it's him just being slightly flustered? And like at that point in time, the game's done. This guy's running all over the place around him. I think he may have just been flustered, hence the red card. But
So the first one, I think the first one he was done for pace, so he's holding the guy. The second one was done for pace, so he's holding the guy.
I thought you said he was fast.
I said he was a professional.
He did apologize.
He is a professional.
He did apologize.
I'm trying to apologize to you, Chappie. I said the man's a professional. I think whatever is not flowing correctly for these boys, I feel like it needs to be rectified. I know they're putting in like a 75 million bid for Fofana. I don't think that's the answer. I think he's a promising kid, but I don't know. What else we got here? We had a strong performance. Yeah.
At least we in the mud because of injuries. They're in the mud. They're just in the mud. So it's pretty interesting.
I wouldn't say we're in the mud because of injuries alone. Virgil.
What? Okay, we'll talk about
Virgil.
We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it.
I don't know if I'm ready. I don't know if I'm ready. Another one that I thought was pretty. I got to watch some of this game, Crystal Palace versus Aston Villa, and this is why I said I don't want to see Steven Gerrard at Liverpool for a good 10 years of management because he was outclassed by Vieira. I don't know if it was his selection. I don't know if it's the composition of the team, but Crystal Palace was just a nightmare for him, all over him like a cheap suit. I saw the goals. I saw the performance.
Cheap suits give you better coverage than what.
Did you think? I don't know what's going on. Why has he got Douglas Luiz or whoever's on the bench? I don't understand that. Because in midfield, it just doesn't seem like there's a good balance there. I don't know.
Coutinho for me is showing that he's cooked. He's done.
Yeah.
At that level of football, I think he's done. He needs to just go back home, I think.
Wow.
I don't think that he's done, but I feel like the level that we assumed he was before is not his actual level. Maybe he stepped up in the company of top players, but then because that Bayern Munich season wasn't a bad season, but then now he's proving he's not the guy that you can build around who's going to drive things. The time at Liverpool, maybe again, he's one of these guys that Klopp can take the credit and say, that was me, son, I did that.
Ooh,
I don't know.
He was playing extremely well under Rodgers, though.
Again, like maybe Rodgers is not half bad. He could bring the best out of him in that spot. I don't know, but I don't know. I'm just speculating because I don't know what's going wrong with Philippe Coutinho. I don't know.
Has he had any major injuries or anything like that? I don't think he has he?
A while back, but
it's not that, guys.
It's not that.
Guys, I don't know if you remember, but Philippe Coutinho was not a straight excellent player for the whole season. That's not who Philippe Coutinho was. He used to dip in form and then he would come back, dip in form. So what's happening with Coutinho right now is it's pretty much normal. It's more exacerbated because of his age, so that might make it even worse. But to be honest, I actually think he has overachieved and he has done some good things. I think he'll kick in. I think he'll kick into gear. No, I mean in terms of like when he came to Aston Villa, right? Everyone was like, man, this is crazy. And then he did what he was being tipped to do. He actually started scoring goals for the first like 4 to 5 games, and then he just went silent. And then that Man City game, he just showed up, and he also showed up against us. So look, I think Coutinho, it started the season, probably still needs some time. He'll kick into gear eventually, but yeah, is he done from a top 4 type of team? Yeah, definitely, but top 10, no. I think you'll be fine. That's
Do you think half the issue with Felipe, though, based on what you're saying, is when he was showing out for us, like he had Suarez, Sturridge, Sterling up top, Steven Gerrard behind him. So in the times in the game where his performance dips, he has quality players around him still. Same thing when
absolutely.
So
absolutely
in and out of a game, and it doesn't really matter that much because you look
absolutely. You've got Suarez to cover it up.
You've
Absolutely.
got Suarez over there.
Yeah.
You've got Sturridge over
absolutely.
there. You've got quality players around you. So I guess the pressure isn't all on him at that point in time.
Exactly. Yeah. I don't think he can carry a team. I don't think that's what Coutinho could do. I mean, yeah, he can aid in a team, and looking at what Aston Villa is going through right now, I don't think it's something that you can't carry. You can't be the talisman. If they signed Coutinho to be the talisman, then they made a really bad move. So yeah, but at his age, I wouldn't be expecting.
How we keep saying at his age? How old do you think this man is?
29. He's like 29. He's not that old.
Isn't he 30? Isn't he 30?
I don't even think he's 30 yet.
No, I don't think he is. Hold on. You out here saying some strong things about this man, like he's done, he's cooked. I just think he's reached his ceiling.
Obviously, he's reached his ceiling. He's on the decline now. Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah. Again, today I'm full of apologies. Taona, he's 30. My bad.
There we go. Because I remember, you were similar ages with, I forgot one of the players in our team.
Sadio Mane.
Yeah, Sadio Mane or Firmino. How old is Firmino? Like close, right?
Firmino's, they're all 30.
Yeah, exactly. I remember that. I remember seeing that. So yeah, it's interesting times. But yeah, I share your sentiment about Gerard. I don't think I
I don't think he's
respect him
gonna
as a
make it.
legend. Yeah, I don't think so. Absolutely not.
I think
Yeah.
whatever the investment, because I mean they signed a really good centre back. Then he tells Mings, "I don't fancy you," strips him of
Yeah.
the captaincy, puts it on McGinn.
Yeah.
I've got no problem McGinn getting the captaincy. I think you got a bit of a problem that you're going to alienate a guy who was such an important defender for you for such a long time for the club. I think
Yeah.
he should have
know-
gone in for Nat Phillips and then started making certain decisions. And once performance is supported it, you don't just strip a guy without having the next guy up ready to go. I think that was a mistake.
Absolutely. I think the best bet Gerard has is to sign have a number 2 who's like super tactical and understands the game more than he does. I think his best thing to do is to have good people around him. I think that's the best, because as a coach, I don't know, man. I don't know. But anyway, it is what it is.
All right.
But I mean, his assistant, he's got old mate. Who does he have? The former Liverpool player who came in his mid-30s or late 30s. He was our old version of James Miller, like in the 90s, midfielder. He's got people around him. Sorry?
Gary McAllister.
Yeah. McAllister. He's got Mac is a smart operator, right? And look, I mean, I think as a footballer, your prime years between 27 and 32. Like at 28, you're supposed to be coming to rev in. That's why the whole Paul Pogba thing feels like it's a missed opportunity. So Phil should be playing his best football now, his smartest football now. Look at David Silva when he was at Man City. Look at all these guys that were playing astute football in those years, like even Messi and Suarez and all them, right? I'm not so sure about Cesc Fabregas. I think was those his Chelsea days? I can't remember.
It also comes down to the number of games and the mileage you have on your legs. Like you start playing early in your career,
absolutely,
you're not going to have. You're going to be cooked earlier.
Yeah.
So guys like Cesc Fabregas, who was playing first team football at Arsenal when he was 17 or something like that, I wouldn't expect him to be kicking on at the age of 32 type of thing. You'd expect him to start tapering off earlier, I suppose. But I do agree with you. Like your prime years are between late 20s to early 30s. That's when you're at the peak of your powers. That's when the game suddenly slows down. You understand it better. If I could play rugby the way I was able to understand it towards the tail end mentally, when I was 19, I would have been an absolute weapon. But it's not how the gods work, unfortunately.
Weapon of mass destruction.
Exactly.
I was looking, the next game that I thought was pretty good. Southampton are quietly gaining some really good form. Leicester, unfortunately, just don't seem to be able to put it together. Southampton and Man United this weekend. I think that's going to be an interesting encounter.
Southampton.
It's very interesting because people are saying this is the season where Southampton gets relegated. So it's pretty interesting to see Southampton putting points on the board. But anyway, we move.
It is. I mean, because I think they've done a little bit of smart investing in some players that are rejuvenating things, knowing when to let go of Brian Bertrand and people like that, and starting to bring in some younger blood. You'd think to yourself that there's something there, right? Like I don't know. There's some interesting encounters this weekend. Chelsea, Leicester, Man City, Crystal Palace, Man United, Southampton, Brighton, Leeds.
That'd be a humdinger game.
And that's all just on Saturday. That's just Saturday. We're not even talking about Sunday night football. That's just the Saturday. I don't know which game I'd watch. I know Liverpool's playing Bournemouth at the same time, but look, at the way we're going right now, I don't even know if I want to talk about that.
What?
I don't even know if I want to get into
Blasphemy!
It's the fourth game of the
Crucify
season.
him! I know, dude.
Then
Off
Sunday,
with his head! Off with his head!
you've got Arsenal, Fulham, and I guess
bring in that Shane Bell from Game of Thrones and just ding it at it.
Shame him! So Arsenal's going to roll over at Fulham again, potentially. West Ham versus Aston Villa. Those Claret clubs have been a bit inconsistent, so that's going to be a good one. Wolves, Newcastle. Newcastle just broke their transfer history, signing that Danish dude, or what is he, Swedish dude from Porto? Yeah, Isak. What is that? £65 million. So I don't know. I don't think he will have had his.
Good.
Yeah, and then Nottingham Forest versus Spurs on Sunday.
So, looking at the games, yeah, you're right. The fixture list is pretty, judging on the form of the teams that are currently hot at the moment, the fixture list is pretty on point. I think that Arsenal Fulham game is going to be pretty interesting. I really want to see what Fulham does. It'll give us a gauge on what our Arsenal deal with problems. And Man City, Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace are in a good form right now. It'll be pretty interesting to see if they can hold them the same way they held us. And then United, Southampton. Yeah, that's a draw. Most of these games are draws written all over them. But but actually, the Man United game is a draw. Man City, Crystal Palace can go either way, and Arsenal, Fulham. Yeah, that can also go either way. Yeah,
Man City, Crystal Palace. Man City playing at home.
Okay, I'm wrong. You're right. Thank you, Chappie, for
Arsenal, Fulham.
You're right.
Arsenal, Fulham, and you reckon Arsenal's going to draw that one?
I reckon Fulham can actually pull something because
the
way they've been playing has been pretty decent. Dude, they beat Brentford last weekend 3-2. That's not a bad result, dude.
They should have beaten Liverpool as well.
They drew. Exactly. They should have beaten us. They drew with Wolves, which is a very good defensive side. And what else? Yeah, like Fulham, I would really look at that game, and see. Look, can they hold it for a full season? Probably not. But for now, they're doing their thing. You know what I mean? So I think,
especially before the injuries start.
Exactly.
100%.
Exactly.
I think Fulham are a chance.
Yeah, I'm rooting for Fulham this weekend.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
Fulham lost 2-0 to Crawley in the League Cup. Their League Cup. What was it? 2 nights ago. Who was in the team? Okay, their lineup was. They're pretty much their reserve guys. Looks like. Probably not too many starters, but I think
that would be smart.
Nathan Chalobah, the older brother to Chelsea's Chalobah, he started this game, and he's like a defensive midfielder. He played that game, but my issue isn't so much Fulham being strong; it's how Arsenal are playing right now. Arteta's got the juice right now, man. I don't think we should underestimate them.
Absolutely. No, you're right. No, you're right. I definitely don't want to underestimate what Arteta's doing right now. He's on to something. It's just that, has he played some good competition at the moment? I
I
don't
always
know,
have the
man.
opinion that they jagged the win, that they got lucky with one of their victories. I don't know.
Yeah,
It's hard because the mind straight away goes just chat shit, talk them down. But
exactly.
you can only do what's in front of you at the end of the day, and that's
Exactly.
what they're achieving.
Exactly.
I don't know.
So
I
yeah,
honestly have no idea.
yeah.
I think sometimes you drag wins out, and that's a sign of a team on the rise or a team that has some quality to it. So I think I don't want to believe in the guy because I don't like Arteta. He played for Everton. Absolutely dislike him. But I feel like underestimating him is at our peril a little bit. You know what I mean?
No. I'm not saying that we should underestimate him. All I'm just saying is that I feel like this would be a worthy opponent than who they've been playing for the past 3 weeks.
Fair call.
You know what I mean?
Fair call.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's all I'm saying. Because
Yeah.
Fulham has been punching above their weight. Not that they can hold it for a whole season, but for the past 3 games, they've been doing some good business. So let's see what happens. And yeah,
Look,
I'm an Arteta fan. I really like what he's doing at Arsenal. I think
heathen.
I know, I know.
Heathen.
Why I like what he's doing is because I think I can see the Klopp blueprint in what they're doing. That's why I like what he's doing. I can see it. Like last season, they started with youngsters and they did well with youngsters, and then this window they brought in some good players to reinforce. You know what I mean? To build upon what they have already, which is brilliant. And now they're just mixing and matching to see what works better, what doesn't. Like, the Jesus signing was just to cover up what they didn't have last season. And then there's some couple of players that are like just adding to bolster their team to make it, to give it more depth. You know what I mean? So, dude, I like what they're doing, man. So, yeah, I don't think it's a surprise they've started well. But can they hold it for a whole season? I don't know. I don't know.
So
I'm hoping
you're,
not.
you're,
As a Liverpool fan, I'm hoping not.
Forgive me, but you both know I love to play devil's advocate.
Absolutely. Go ahead.
Do you remember the Crystal Palace game?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
They won 2-0.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
what did
And
they do to Leicester?
No, but I'm just saying, in that
They
Crystal
dropped
Palace,
four on them.
Leicester's in the mud right
Leicester's in
now.
the mud, man.
Yeah,
Keep thinking
Leicester's in the
They're
mud,
not even
bro.
playing their best
But they
play.
dropped four on
Exactly.
them, though. They
Nah,
dropped
dude,
four on them.
It doesn't
Brendan
matter.
should have been fired, bro.
It doesn't matter. Like, they're not playing their best players. It doesn't matter.
They're not.
Like
Yeah.
this week, Leicester playing
Brendan
Chelsea.
should have been fired. Yeah.
Leicester playing Chelsea. I'm expecting Chelsea to wire him as well. because they're not playing their
Absolutely,
best
like
players.
5. Yeah.
The
Absolutely.
club's in a mess at the moment. Like, it is.
Yeah,
what
they're
it
in
is.
the mud, bro.
But
Yeah.
all I was saying is the way they played against Crystal Palace should have won
Yeah.
that game.
Absolutely,
Well,
absolutely.
Their results are there, but the performances, especially in that game, aren't there as well. They can be beat. So you're sitting there, everyone's saying Arteta.
Just like us. Just
no,
like
we're
Liverpool.
just playing. We're just playing awful. We're just playing awful at the moment, and we're not jagging victories.
No. Okay, should we skip to the Liverpool conversation now?
I wanted to talk about Newcastle Man City.
Okay, Newcastle, let's go.
Bruh. Maybe
I was so
again.
happy. I was so happy watching that. I got too excited for my own good. But Mr.
Me
Kieran,
too. I feel like I jinxed it. I should have not watched the game. I should have just let the results run through, because when I started watching the game. It was when they were winning 3-1. And then
Mhm.
City just came back with 2 goals. And I'm like, oh man.
Is that when I was?
You know.
Is that when I was messaging saying check the score, check the score? I was way too excited myself. Way too excited. It was that.
Yeah,
I thought it was
yeah.
going to be a great weekend.
Yeah, exactly. But a great game from Newcastle. Yeah. Uh, at least one team stood, their ground. Because I feel like teams don't stand their ground with Man City. They just defend and just wait. You know what I mean? Instead of like pushing and
And taking it
trying
to
to
them.
stop. Yeah, it's just trying to stop their possession because yeah, it just sucks, man. But yeah,
But the
great
way
game.
they scored those 2 goals in 5 minutes to rescue that game, mate, they're probably one of the best teams I've ever seen. Man City are just simply amazing.
Yeah, they're not to be
I don't
trifled
know
with.
about ever
No.
seen. Come on,
Dude, they're consistently a top side.
ever
Like,
They are
this is.
brilliant. They play
Have you.
good football. They score goals. They're entertaining. Like they put teams to the cleaners in the league.
entertaining.
They are.
Dude,
You know.
I saw a graph of Pep Guardiola's managerial record. The first
Yeah,
4 years with Barcelona, where he came first, where he came second. The next 3 seasons, the first 4 seasons of Barcelona, the next 3 seasons of Bayern Munich, and the last 8 seasons of Man City. That Man City team has potentially been very unfortunate when it comes to Champions League. And I don't know. I think that misfortune is probably ending this season, bro. That team is not playing. Like they're consistently delivering something.
no. I'm not disputing their prowess. I'm not disputing the way they can get the job done. I'm just disputing ever seen and entertaining.
They
Can
are
they
one.
get
You
the
know,
job done with their passing, slow passing? Yeah, sure. But are they entertaining? I don't know, man.
I
I
don't
don't
get
know.
bored watching City. I think they are quite
Bernardo
Really?
entertaining.
Silva,
I
Bernardo
think they're quite
Silva, De
entertaining.
Bruyne.
The
I don't
only
know.
thing with City is that you don't get that emotional rush watching them. Like when you watch Liverpool and they banging and pressing hard and it's like they're working hard for it. Man City, it's a stroll in the park, mate. Like it's beautiful. It's good football. It's good
I
football.
guess. I guess.
That's the difference
I
between.
I think I like. I think maybe it's my it's the American influence in me, where I like things that are direct. You know what I mean? Like
Possibly.
I don't like
That's why
side
you didn't like
passing,
Ronaldo. Yeah, you didn't
waiting.
like G. Yeah.
Exactly. So I like yeah, let's get to the point. You know what I mean? And that's the nice thing about Liverpool. Like we have a little bit of that Man City thing, but we also have like, yeah, let's get to the point. You know what I mean? Let's attack. And I give you those 2 goals that they scored against Newcastle. Those were pretty direct, and they were like, yeah, it did. But do you get that every time in a Man City team? It's always usually just passing to the side, passing to the back, passing to the side, passing. Oh my God, what's going on? You know what I mean? That's why I'm like, is
When
that I don't
Barcelona
know
used
about
to do it,
entertainment.
everyone used to rave about it.
Barcelona was different. I don't think Barcelona's playing the way Barcelona played under Pep and what Man City has now. Because I feel like the Barcelona team had like more flair. Is it maybe Spanish flair? Maybe I could be wrong, but it had more directness as well. With
They
Messi
were
taking
romanticized. They were very well romanticized. Like yes, Messi.
probably, probably, yeah,
Messi
yeah,
doesn't do a lot of chicks and
probably,
flicks. Um,
probably,
the team when Ronaldinho was there, that was next level. Like Ronaldinho
probably.
just used to take people on like crazy. And the man can dribble like there's no tomorrow. But you think about it, Barcelona when they had Suarez and geez, what's his name?
Neymar.
And Neymar. Neymar used to take guys on like there's no tomorrow as well. But Suarez isn't a dribbler.
Yeah, true. No, I'm just comparing the Pep Barcelona and the Man City Pep now. I
I don't
think
know.
the
It's like
Barcelona Pep was more entertaining, and I think the City one is not as entertaining, but they do get the job done. I agree with you on that one. They get the
I don't
job
know.
done, which is
I,
at the end of the day what matters, right? Yeah.
I kind of find that Barcelona team and this team exactly the same, eh? Like you had
Okay.
Messi on the right, cutting in on his left and taking people on. Now you got Mares on on the right doing the exact same thing. Like I just don't know. I used to get bored watching Barcelona as well, just tiki taka, tiki taka, tiki taka. Like it got boring as well. But I,
Really?
I don't. That was me. That was me, and I don't know.
Um,
We're talking about stuff from what 15, almost 20 years ago now.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
Maybe we have our
It's hard.
history is wrong.
It's still just
Yeah.
very
um,
emphasized.
I
No
I
one was
feel like
playing a possession football back then either. So it was
Yeah.
kind of new. It was, yeah.
Yeah, true.
Even Swansea played that type of football. You know what I mean? So
That's why we signed Rogers. That is why we signed Rogers. We're like, oh my god, we're about to be Barcelona. That was
and I guess
hilarious.
that's a good segue into unfortunately having to discuss the Liverpool result.
Yeah, guys. Look, I think I should be given the medal for the most positive Liverpool fan out there because it was brutal on social media. Like everyone was going after them. Like this team is done out here. Oh, Klopp, he's done out here. Klopp out.
All right. Well, since you thanks for that. Since you've since you've mate, what's said in private chat is supposed to stay in private chat. Jesus. Um, you if we're going to be talking about that, let's okay. So we lost 2-1 to Man United at Old Trafford. We weren't at the races at all in that first half. For the first 30, 35 minutes of that game, we were just not
Yeah,
at the ball. Um,
yeah,
I question Klopp's decisions in that game. Um, he came out and said he didn't start Fabinho because he wanted to end the game with Fabinho on and minutes restrictions and trying to protect his players and so on and so forth. But starting with Hendo, Milner, and Elliott, I think was not the smartest idea.
absolutely. I agree
Conversely,
with that.
to then
Mm,
sub off Hendo and keep Milner on
yeah,
did not make a lot of sense to me at that point in time either. Um, we do not have depth on that bench at all. The injuries have bloody well shown that there's no one there. It's absolutely insane that we had two keepers on the bench. It just doesn't make sense to me. Makes zero sense to me. Chasing a game, we bring Costas on. Like, what's going on?
mm, mm. Look, I agree with you on Klopp making the wrong decisions. Absolutely, Fab is a wrong decision. Uh, Keeping Milner on at the time, it made a little sense because he was the only one showing energy between him and Hendo. Because Hendo, for some weird reason, Hendo's positioning was just so wrong, and I don't know, he was
Honestly,
so lost. Yeah, like it. Though, in fact, the whole team was just so. I don't know if the occasion threw them off or they were dealing with something. It was just weird because going into the game, I had said, look, our performances, although they were draws, they were pretty good. And then now going into the Man United game, our performance was just so off. It was gone. It was bad, man. And I don't think that we should read into that too much, because I've been seeing social media just saying, "Yo, this Liverpool team is done," but it's not. It's just a bad game. Even the best teams have a bad game, and that was that. And I think it got into their heads because, like, for the past 3 games or 2 games, they'd been playing really well, but they're not getting the results. So probably it just got into their head, like, oh my gosh, it's happening again, and United just took over while they were overthinking it. I personally think we'll be fine. I expect some good results against Bournemouth the next game, which is probably a 3-0. Let's match Arsenal. Let's match Arsenal.
I'm not worried about matching Arsenal. I just want to get a W on the board. Like, honestly,
Absolutely.
that's all I'm worried about
Yep.
at the moment. We just
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
We just seem to have a lot of possession, but
Yeah.
unfortunately, we're not doing anything with it. This is when you
Yeah.
see how much we miss Thiago.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And
But
I hate to say it, but Bobby Firmino's
no, guys, chill.
I ain't said
Bobby
nothing.
Firmino.
Chill on my
I
homie,
ain't
bro.
said nothing. I ain't said nothing.
No, the thing is, Bobby is you know, when we're speaking about Coutinho, how like sometimes you get like a really good form and then you get a dip in form. That's Bobby. I think he's just experiencing like a really bad form at the moment, and it
What, really
doesn't
bad
help that
18 months?
probably, and it doesn't help that the whole team is also experiencing. I think if we had Darwin Núñez for Man United, we're winning that game. It's not even close.
Oh,
We're
well, that's
winning
what
that
happens
game.
when you want an elbow. Like,
No, cuz I'll tell you what happened. They were playing for their lives because the fans would have killed them if they lost, and you guys were playing like, we'll just win this. We'll win it eventually. We'll win it eventually. And it got down to like 2 minutes, and like, shit, we're not going to win this.
You
Man,
know
can
what?
see
Rob's
that.
like
actually
they
pretty
played
I
with
can
this
see
with
that.
this energy, like an arrogant energy, like that they would like, and not a good arrogant energy, like a negative
Complacent.
arrogant energy.
Like, it's
Do you know
complacent.
what I mean?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I can see that.
Do we need
I
to
can
talk about
definitely see
Big
that.
Bad Verge?
No. That's just social hype. I'm sorry.
Is it?
Yeah, I think so.
Champions League final. Well, remember when we were when we were talking about the Champions League finals, like Virgil should have gone
Yeah.
and closed down the ball. He didn't do it. Fulham, he refused to close down the ball again and waited until Mitrovic was in the box before he decided to challenge. This game again, Milner goes diving in to make a block, and Verge is standing back there just watching. He's not closing down the ball. I don't know what's going on with him now. But to me, that's 3 games that I can think of off the top of my head where he's not engaging the opposition play.
I got 2 voices that I need to put out right now. The only voice for this Virgil conversation, I do think Virgil has been playing a little bit too relaxed. I don't know if he's saving himself for the World Cup or whatever, but there's something definitely not right there. But not closing him down, not coming forward to close him down. If you look at that footage, next to him was a Man City player. I can't remember who it was, Bernardo Silva, whoever. If he shifted, that could have just been an easy, not a Man City player, sorry.
Fact.
It was Rashford or somebody next to him, whatever. If he had come forward, closed down Sancho would have had an easy pass to Rashford, goalkeeper Rashford or whatever. I think it was Rashford who was next to him or somebody like that. I had the argument with one of my mates, same story, because I saw the footage where they went through those moments where Virgil's not closing people down and stuff. And it's kind of, you're damned if you go, you're damned if you don't. It's kind of where the partnership is, because the person I feel like should have closed down Sancho was Trent. Sorry?
Trent, there we go. Hey, we say it together. Trent.
Sorry? The ball. I think in that position, the danger was both, because if Trent comes and closes that down and Virgil stands his ground, the option to pass to whoever was going to be next to him, that's a Man U player, would have been nullified on both moves. I can't remember where Joey Gomez was in this setup as well. The rhythm is definitely off, but from a team perspective, they're playing without a certain edge and intensity. That Martinez guy from Man United was playing like a savage, right? All
He
5 foot
was.
11 of him or whatever. He was aggressive on
Yeah.
the ball, and nobody else was at that level. And when you think about that, that's kind of where we're at. Like I said it, there's one guy who would be in that same position and would play with a little bit of intensity. And unfortunately, gents, you're not gonna like this, Tawana. That's Sadio Mane, baby. Baby, Sadio Mane would have had a little bit of intensity, and you just feel like maybe that edginess, because Robertson is a shit stirrer, right?
Yeah.
That little edginess, it can rile up the other guys. It can rile up the opposition, unsettle them. And ain't nobody playing with that level of energy. Ain't nobody playing with that Muhammad Ali type of in your face, bothering you type of thing. And I'm sorry, I don't think Darwin Nunes is that either. You know, I think
you know what? That's I think you're being a bit unfair on Diaz, because that boy was running up and down that wing, very Sadio-esque. He was
Gents,
challenging.
don't
He was
get
putting
me
his foot in.
wrong. The person who's putting in the best performance so far, if I'm giving an MVP of the season award, is going to Luis Diaz, right? There's no question. That man is playing out of his skin, right? He's playing out of his skin, if you will. But it's just like, even when Sadio wasn't scoring goals and he was taking 5 chances, whatever, that in your faceness caused guys to play deeper. It caused people to play deeper. It caused something. I think Luis Diaz is awesome. Luis Diaz on the left. Sadio was playing through the middle last season when Luis Diaz came, right? It was causing problems. And I just don't think, and maybe the problem is Bobby, right? But I just don't think we've got enough forcing these guys to play differently that we're playing against.
Bro, I think you're being a bit.
It is harsh. I'm not gonna lie.
No,
It
I
is
think you're
harsh.
overly kind to Sadio there, in all honesty. The reason why he ended up playing in the middle is because he pretty much got dropped because his form wasn't good.
Absolutely.
Luis
Absolutely.
Diaz came in and took his spot in that team.
Absolutely.
Performances.
His
Since
form
Sadio
looks pretty fine for Bayern right now, boys. I'm just saying, man's out
No,
here doing
come
his
on.
thing in the
Nah,
Bundesliga.
nah,
It's a
nah.
farmers
Stop.
league.
Stop.
Nah, bro.
It's a
These guys are
farmers league.
professionals. These guys are professionals, guys. Go take that Dortmund side, that RB Leipzig side, Borussia Mönchengladbach, put them on the field in the Premier League. Go tell me that there's a farmers league. Yes, Bayern is the most dominant thing on this level, but they're playing against professional footballers. Professionals.
Nah.
That are
Look,
making it into the playoff stages for other competitions like the Europa League and otherwise that English Premier League teams aren't making. This talk of Farmers League is more from an entertainment standpoint and having a competitive league, but don't knock those teams like they ain't professionals. Them boys is
Yeah,
professional.
when you're
Wait,
getting beat 7-0, that sounds like a really difficult league to me, brother.
Man City
Rude.
does business to people all the time. Arsenal's out here putting hands
No,
on
they
motherfuckers
don't.
for 4-0.
No, have you actually watched any of the Bundesliga this year? Have you watched any Bayern Munich?
Yes, I watch
You're
it.
telling
I
me-
watch Bundesliga.
And you're telling me they're not daylight ahead of every other team out there?
They are 100%. They are,
Exactly.
but those other teams are competitive. That's why when English players, but then when English teams play them in the Europa League, why ain't they handing them whippings like that? They're not,
Because we're
because
talking
those are
about teams like
professional.
Arsenal and Man United from the last 3 seasons that have been absolutely awful, even in our league, finishing 30, 40 points behind the team finishing second.
I feel like we're talking about West Ham, we're talking about Spurs, and those are lads that are playing in the Europa Leagues.
How many?
Those are some players. They'll get their dupes up.
Answer the question. How many points did they finish behind the top 2 last year?
Oh, they finished 12 points back. There's no question. Their best players get pitched all the time. I'm saying minimum, right? Like they're getting destroyed. There's a big gap. Like I'll pull up Bundesliga 2020 season. You're not gonna be wrong on that. 100%.
I'm talking about your Spurs and all these other teams that you're talking about playing in the Europa League. How many points behind the top 2 did they finish over the last 3 years? How many points back?
I'll take that.
Don't forget,
I'll take that
Liverpool
option.
and all these other clubs are finishing on 90 points. They're not finishing in the 80s.
Hold on. I'm gonna bring that up for you. Don't you worry about that, Pappy. I got you. FA. Okay. Let's see how this table finished. 2021, 2020.
Rue, but I mean, some of the scores that Bayern is putting right now is just, it's ridiculous. You can't defend the league in that sense.
Guys,
I mean,
I'm not saying that the league is at the same competitive level as the Premier League, but I'm saying those teams are professional teams that are putting in performances.
So is
When
Wrexham.
they're playing in
So is
intercontinental,
So is
when they're
all-
playing in a continental tournament like the Europa League, they're putting in performances against your West Ham and your Spurs teams that are in our league that we're saying this is the best league in the world. They're performing. Yes, they're not performing
Okay.
against Bayern, 100%.
But I'm saying the teams you
Okay,
compare
let's-
them to are finishing.
okay,
20.
let's do this. Let's do this. Look. So Bayern Munich on the 21st of August won 7-0 against Bochum, right?
Bochum, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So
Bochum, this is their second
Bochum-
season in the Bundesliga. They came from
Exactly.
they came from League Two. That's
They're clearly
who was
in the
getting their
mud.
asses handed last season. Like Watford, who was getting that work last season? That's your Norwich. Bochum's your Norwich, bro.
I got you. But what Chappie and I are trying to drive, the point that we're trying to drive is that it's not something that is like, oh my gosh, Sadio is just helping Bayern Munich to do amazing things. That's basically what we're trying to say.
But I'm looking at it and I'm like, Bayern Munich lost one of the best goal scorers in European football right now. This man dropped
Got it.
45, right?
Got it. Yeah.
He dropped 45.
Yeah.
Mandem's not soft, right? He was real. And he's gone into that team with all the adjustments they're making, getting rid of Deadwood, all that stuff. And seamlessly, man is coming in scoring goals and he's having to adjust. Yes, it's not as competitive as the Premier League, but Dortmund, Leverkusen, Leipzig, Union Berlin, those teams are still competitive. And I'm basing that on how they perform when they play against teams from other countries in the Europa League, in the Champions League for your Dortmunds and your Leipzigs and your Leverkusen. Yes, in their own league, look, Bayern had 77 points. Next up was Dortmund with 69, right?
Okay.
8-point differential between number one and number two. And then everyone else after that was close. I get what you guys are saying. I'm not disagreeing. What I'm saying is don't knock these other teams because they're going to then cause problem for us when we play in the Champions League and then we're there sitting saying, nah, Farmers League. I hate that word. I hate it because we're disrespecting professionals. I wouldn't want to have motherfuckers talking about me like that. I'm just saying.
Mate, you can say what you
Professionals who found themselves in a farmers league. That's right, Rue.
Rue. So you're comparing them to West Ham, right?
The two aren't mutually exclusive, my friend.
Hey?
We'll just watch how these teams perform in the Champions League because the draw was set up already. Well, the draw was set up already. We've got the mix of teams in the Champions League. Leverkusen is in Group B with Porto, Atletico, and Club Brugge.
We're not talking about the top three teams in Germany. The top three teams, you all know that they've always been rather good teams. Dortmund's been pretty good the last few years. Since Klopp was there, Dortmund's been pretty good. Leipzig, they've come up a lot, but they had a lot of spending money. Those top three teams in the Bundesliga have always been really good teams. Bayern Munich, generally speaking, take the piss in that league. Yes, Dortmund's come close and they challenge, so on and so forth, but whatever.
Would it be fair to say that these teams are more built for the Euro Cup than they are for their own home league?
That could be true. That could be true.
Knockout competitions are easier to win.
Like there's like 3 teams that are like, yeah, we'll have a crack at each other in a home league. Everyone else is just like, there for making up numbers, but they're essentially built for that EuroLeague clout because that's like the big bragging rights, isn't it, of all of Europe?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
So,
yeah.
Rue, you said they're coming up against teams like West Ham. How many points did West Ham have last season?
I have that for you right here. West Ham had 56 points.
So we're talking about a team that finished almost 40 points behind the champion.
Yes. Noting that the champion is Man City.
Exactly. But that's kind of...
Yes, and I'm not talking about comparing West Ham with Bayern.
No,
I'm comparing West
Ham to the other dross in the bloody Bundesliga.
I'm comparing West Ham to teams from the Bundesliga. They're playing at the same level. So I'm comparing to the Bundesliga version of West Ham. I'm not comparing it to Dortmund. Mate, you're not comparing apples and apples.
I don't care.
You're not comparing apples and apples, so it can't even be a debate.
Apples to apples.
How?
Because I don't give a fuck about West Ham who finished 40 points behind Man City. Nor do I care about a team that finishes 40 points behind Man City. I'm comparing we're calling a league a farmers league based on the fact that Bayern Munich goes and scores and has a differential between them and the next best teams that's pretty wide. And I'm saying take those next best teams. And I'm going to say it, that Premier League has also become a farmers league. 2 teams pumping between 90 and 100 points every other season, that's a farmers league too. The top 2-3 teams in England are far beyond every other team in the Premier League. It's also a farmers league. All these other teams are absolute dross, finishing 40 points behind the champions and being happy that you're playing in Europe. Who gives a fuck about that? You're awful. That's the reality of it. These teams are shite.
Tell us what you really think, Chappie.
The teams are fucking shite. Like, let's be honest. And that's why when we draw a game, for us, it feels like a loss. Because the teams are shit. We expect to roll them. Week in, week out.
Look, going
What's the
with
excuse?
What's the excuse?
Going with the stats.
This year too.
You walked into that one, I'm sorry. But what is the excuse?
We're shite this year as well. 100% we're shite. But that's the point that I'm trying to make, bro. Like, we're talking about teams.
For what reason? Is it the coach? Is it the players? Why?
It's the lack of players at his disposal.
I think it's neither. I think I don't know.
I think it's
maybe he's the coach a little bit because he's not getting them up to the intensity they need to play, or something's not translating there. That's what I'm seeing.
I don't disagree with that.
Klopp doesn't seem like the person who's going to muck around and let his team be unprepared. So I don't know. Maybe the whole Hollywood thing of being at Liverpool since the success they've had in the last couple of years is starting to get some players' heads. Maybe they need some humbling. Maybe the start of the year is just this humbling process. They need to pull their finger out.
Absolutely.
I think the lack of competition in certain positions, which I've been crying about. I said we need to sign a right back who's in his mid to late 20s to put pressure on Trent, somebody who's game ready now. We go sign a 19-year-old kid who's got some years to go. And people are like, oh, the kid's good. He's not going to do nothing to Trent. Trent's going to keep playing the way Trent's going to keep playing. Right?
There's no competition in a position that you feel safe and you don't push yourself to the, to
That's what I said. If we go get somebody right now who goes and plays, and this... Earlier, I may have, because I was on the run, I wasn't clearly putting my words in when I was sending messages to you guys. I was like, I want to get somebody in who comes in and puts pressure on people's positions, not Curtis Jones, who's years away from being the article. I'd rather send him out on loan, go test his metal out at a Blackpool or whatever, right? And then bring somebody who's ready now. And I felt like that's the problem. We had a conversation, and Chappie, one of the things you're saying is stick to your game plan and sign Jude Bellingham. And I'm like, okay, but I don't think Jude is the only thing we need to do in that midfield. I think Tielemans is an option.
Jude, I'm saying you sign, regardless of what's happening, if you've got injuries now and you've set out and mapped out a game plan that you want to sign X, Y, and Z, you go sign X, Y, and Z.
X, Y, and Z.
you don't then go sign A, B, C, D. Like that's just a waste of time and money. That's my.
I feel
Even
like
if
Tillemans should have been an option there.
Beg your
No,
pardon?
but the thing,
I feel like
is, guys,
Tillemans should have been an option we consider. I mean, I like Fabio Carvalho. I like Harvey Elliott. But I feel like Tillemans should have been an option we considered, considering at the end of the season we're losing Naby, Ox, and Milner, right?
yeah,
Tillemans
but the
easily is
things,
going to take out Naby and Ox's the need for Naby and Ox, in
yeah,
my
but
opinion.
guys, let's. I think we need to put some realism into our argument because we are speaking about Liverpool here. We're not Man City. We can't just sign a player and expect them to sit on the bench. That's why when I was talking about how Arteta has been doing well because he used youngsters, and it's like a trait of a club way of doing things. That's basically what Klopp is doing right now. That's why he's signing youngsters to be the backups to the older people. So that's why I'm saying, guys, Liverpool cannot afford to go and sign a right back who's like world renowned and expect him to play second fiddle to Trent. That's not happening. Even just looking at salary wise, no one's doing that. So that's why I'm saying, guys, with what we have right now and with what Klopp is doing, I think we can do this. We can push. Harvey Elliott,
Maybe,
uh, yeah, Harvey Elliott,
maybe
Ramsey, and what's that other kid? Carvalho.
Cavalli.
Those are really good signings because they know where their place is at. They know that there's still a future that's going to happen. You can't go and sign Bellingham this season and expect him to sit for who's our first three players in midfield.
Henderson.
Yeah, Henderson,
I would argue the fact that Jude
Thiago.
probably starts ahead of Hendo nowadays.
Absolutely,
Yes.
absolutely. But now you
And
have
it's
a conversation for your first three to start to see, hey guys, you guys are going to be benching. So now you're like, wait, you've got 200,000 sitting on the bench every weekend. Makes no sense. Absolutely makes no sense. So that's why I'm saying that, like, the strategy, like what Chappie said, the strategy that they have is actually a good strategy to wait and sign the players when it's time. Because remember that our midfield, most of those players are out of contract at the end of the season. So we'll be good. We can move people on who can't play every single.
Yeah, Tona, I
Yeah. So
completely
yeah,
agree. I agree with what you're saying. My argument
yeah.
there is if you are going to go sign a midfielder now as cover, Tona, like pretty much all I'm saying is if you're going to go sign a player now, go and sign the players who are on your list who you want to sign. There's no point in just going to go sign someone randomly. To me, that's nonsensical. You go blow 50, 60 million pounds, be paying the guy 100 and something to 200,000 pounds a week when he's not who you've been targeting and who you've been looking at. There's no point in that. Rue, I get what you're saying.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
Would have been on the list. That's your opinion. That's your opinion. And if you feel Tielemans should have been on the list, 100%. Like
The problem,
I don't.
with
That's not
Tielemans-
exactly what I was saying. I guess that's
The
not
problem-
exactly what I was saying. I had a different direction in what I thought we should have done, but I'll save that for another time.
Yeah, but the problem with Tielemans also is that he's super injury prone. So you might be looking at another Keita or Ox. So I don't know if that's the best route to take, but if he's the only person available, I don't mind him. But I'm just worried about that injury list, man. It's just crazy.
Thank you very much. And as we said before, if you're following us on your socials, please give us a 5-star review and give us a like and a follow there as well as on YouTube. That's it. Thank you very much to our co-host Rob. Thank you very much for your time today as well, mate. And let's get amongst it. If he's not one of your original targets who you want,
Yes, we have a new blue for real moment. Woo! That was gold.
God.
yeah. So if you're gonna go
Oh
play
God.